Welcome and thank you for joining us. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanziba Noreen. Today we have brought top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines. President Trump and Netanyahu disagree over Iran and Gaza plans. President Trump ready to accept a $400 million jet gift from Qatar. President Trump says US and China made great progress in trade talks. Tour bus crash killed 1 and injured 32 in Los Angeles suburb. Mayor Adams discusses New York City's priorities with President Trump. American actress Amber Heard welcomes twins, celebrates motherhood on Mother's Day. Pope Leo XIV appeals for no more war in First Sunday address. Zelensky challenges Putin for in-person peace talks in Istanbul. India and Pakistan's fragile ceasefire broken by overnight clashes. Bangladesh bans Awami League activities under Anti-Terrorism Act. "21 killed, 35 injured in Sri Lanka bus crash." And Barcelona edge closer to La Liga title with 4-3 victory over Real Madrid. You were listening to Headlines Now News in detail. President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu once had strong agreement on how to deal with Iran and the war in Gaza. Trump supported Israel by sending large bombs and encouraging its military to act against Hamas. He also shared Netanyahu's tough stance on Iran and its proxy groups, but recently their relationship has become tense. Netanyahu now wants to strike Iran's nuclear sites, while Trump prefers making a deal to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. As Israel starts a new offensive in Gaza, Trump is calling for a ceasefire and wants to begin rebuilding Gaza into a Riviera of the Middle East. Trump also paused the U.S. military campaign against the Houthis after they stopped attacking U.S. ships, even though they had just launched a missile near Israel's main airport. Netanyahu was upset by this move and by Trump's statement that he hasn't decided if Iran can enrich uranium for civilian use. Trump's envoy continues talks with Iran in Oman. Trump will visit the Middle East soon but will not stop in Israel. Though frustrated, Netanyahu remains cautious since Trump is still very popular with his political base in Israel. President Donald Trump is reportedly ready to accept a $400 million luxury Boeing 747-8 jet from Qatar's royal family. The plane, called a Palace in the Sky, will be used as the new Air Force One until the end of his second term. The jet is expected to be officially announced during Trump's Middle East tour, which includes stops in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. Trump viewed the plane in February at West Palm Beach Airport. If accepted, the U.S. Air Force will first take ownership and modify it for presidential use. After Trump's term ends, ownership will be transferred to his Presidential Library Foundation, likely by January 1, 2029. Trump's lawyers, including Attorney General Pam Bondi and White House counsel David Warrington, have said the gift is legal, noting that it doesn't violate bribery laws because it's not tied to any official act. However, critics disagree. Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin said Trump must get Congress approval. Others, like security experts and political analysts, warned of bribery risks and raised concerns about surveillance and ethics. The Trump Organization recently announced a $5.5 billion golf course project in Qatar. President Donald Trump said the US and China made great progress in trade talks and reached what he called a total reset in relations after rising tensions. Trump shared on Truth Social that many issues were discussed and agreements made in a friendly but constructive way. He said the talks aimed to open China more to U.S. businesses. The discussions led by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer continued in Geneva. They met with China's Vice Premier He Lifeng after both countries raised tariffs on each other, causing major problems for global trade and markets. Before the meeting, Trump said the U.S. might reduce tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 80%. Trade experts said that even at 80%, the tariffs would still hurt many companies. China's Xinhua news agency said the U.S. heavy tariffs had harmed the global economy, but added that the new talks were a positive move to avoid further conflict and protect international trade rules. A deadly crash between a tour bus and an SUV killed one person and injured 32 others in Hacienda Heights, east of Los Angeles. The accident happened early morning on Route 60. According to the LA County Fire Department, the SUV was already in flames when emergency crews arrived. The SUV driver died while trapped inside. The California Highway Patrol said 2 people were in critical condition, while 26 others had minor injuries. In total, 32 people were sent to the hospital. However, 31 people from the bus were able to leave without needing hospital treatment. The bus had major front-end damage and a broken windshield, but no fire reached the vehicle. The crash happened suddenly, a witness said, and drivers didn't have enough time to stop. Officials are still investigating the cause of the crash. Emergency responders acted quickly to help the injured. More updates are expected as authorities continue looking into the incident and safety measures. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. New York City Mayor Eric Adams released a statement following his meeting with President Donald Trump to discuss the city's priorities. Adams said that New Yorkers elected him to fight for their families, and his administration continues to work toward making the city better. He shared that he met with President Trump and his team at the White House to talk about important infrastructure projects and the protection of essential social services. Adams described the meeting as productive, laying a strong foundation for future discussions on New York City's priorities. He expressed a hope that both administrations would meet again soon to continue working together. Adams emphasized that effective leadership involves finding common ground and collaborating to make New York City the best place to raise a family. In the coming weeks, further discussions are expected to build on the progress made during the meeting. Amber Heard celebrated a special Mother's Day in 2025 by revealing she welcomed twins, a girl named Agnes and a boy named Ocean. The 39-year-old actress shared the joyous news on Instagram on May 11. This marks her third child, following the birth of her first daughter, Onak Paige Heard, in April 2021. In her post, Heard expressed her excitement, writing, "This year I am elated beyond words to celebrate the completion of the family I have strived to build for years." She shared that becoming a mother, especially on her own terms despite her fertility challenges, had been a humbling experience. Heard also reflected on her journey, mentioning how her world changed forever with the birth of Onak and how she felt she couldn't possibly burst with more joy until now. She expressed deep gratitude for her ability to create her dream family and extended her celebration to all mothers. Now it's time for global updates. Pope Leo XIV made a strong appeal for no more war in his first Sunday message to crowds in St. Peter's Square since being elected as Pope. He called for a genuine and lasting peace in Ukraine and urged a ceasefire in Gaza as well as the release of all Israeli hostages. The Pope also welcomed the recent ceasefire between India and Pakistan and prayed for the world to be granted the miracle of peace. He echoed the late Pope Francis' frequent call, emphasizing the need for an end to conflict. Leo noted that today's world is facing the dramatic scenario of a third world war being fought piecemeal, a phrase first used by Francis. He expressed deep sorrow for the people of Ukraine and called for negotiations to achieve a just and lasting peace. The Pope also condemned the war in Gaza and requested immediate ceasefire, humanitarian aid, and the release of hostages held by Hamas. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin to meet in person for peace talks in Istanbul. Zelensky urged Russia to accept a 30-day truce and end the violence. His call came after U.S. President Donald Trump urged Zelensky to agree to Putin's offer of negotiations. Zelensky responded by suggesting a personal meeting, stressing the need for a full and lasting ceasefire. "There is no point in prolonging the killings," he stated, offering the talks as a chance for diplomacy. The two leaders have not spoken directly since the invasion of Ukraine. Zelensky's statement came after Trump encouraged Kiev to accept the meeting and proceed with talks to determine if a deal was possible. Putin's response included proposing the meeting in Istanbul while also accusing Ukraine of breaking previous ceasefires. Zelensky's challenge put pressure on Putin, pushing for a concrete diplomatic resolution. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. You are watching latest global updates. A ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan, brokered by US President Donald Trump, faced immediate challenges after overnight clashes in Kashmir. Despite the truce announced, both sides accused each other of violations. India's military claimed it struck militant sites in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, killing over 100 militants, including key leaders. Pakistan denied the accusations, saying India had violated the ceasefire first. The ceasefire was agreed upon after high-level US mediation, aiming to ease tensions following a deadly attack in Kashmir. However, hours after the deal, intense shelling resumed along the line of control, with both sides reporting violations. People in the region described the situation as chaotic, with residents in both Kashmir and Neelam Valley fearing more violence. Despite these setbacks, officials from both countries are set to meet for further talks to ensure the ceasefire holds. The international community, including the UN, has urged both sides to maintain peace. The interim government in Bangladesh has banned all activities of the Awami League Party, led by former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, following her ousting in a mass uprising last year. The ban was enforced under the country's Anti-Terrorism Act and will remain until a special tribunal completes its trial over the deaths of hundreds of students and protesters during the anti-government protests in July and August 2024. Asif Nazrul, Bangladesh's law affairs advisor, confirmed the decision after a cabinet meeting led by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus. The government's goal is to ensure national security, protect witnesses involved in the trial, and prevent further violence. The ban was prompted by a protest on the streets of Dhaka, where thousands, including students, demanded the prohibition of Awami League activities. The protest followed Hasina's ousting, which came after months of anti-government unrest. Hasina has been in exile in India since August 2024. A passenger bus skidded off a cliff in Sri Lanka's hill country, killing 21 people and injuring 35 others. The accident took place near Kottamal, about 86 miles east of Colombo, in the early hours of Sunday. Police spokesman Budhika Manathunga confirmed that the bus, which was operated by a state-run company, plunged down a steep slope. Local TV footage showed the overturned bus at the bottom of a cliff, with rescuers helping injured passengers. The driver, who was also injured, was among those taken to the hospital. At the time of the crash, nearly 50 people were on board. Authorities are investigating whether the crash was caused by reckless driving or a technical issue with the bus. Fatal bus accidents are frequent in Sri Lanka, particularly in mountainous areas due to narrow roads and unsafe driving conditions. The government has yet to comment on future measures to prevent such accidents. Let's have a look on today's sports story. Barcelona made a thrilling comeback to beat Real Madrid 4-3 and move closer to securing the La Liga title. Despite a hat-trick from Kylian Mbappe, Barcelona triumphed with goals from Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Eric Garcia and Fermin Lopez, giving them a 7-point lead over Madrid with 3 matches remaining. Madrid had an early advantage with Mbappe scoring 2 quick goals. However, Barcelona fought back with Rafinha's brace and Yamal's stunning equalizer. Rafinha gave Barcelona the lead, and his second goal sealed the victory after a mix-up in Madrid's defense. Mbappe scored a penalty and completed his hat-trick, but it wasn't enough as Barcelona continued their dominance in this season's Clásicos. Real Madrid's title hopes now depend on their upcoming match against Mallorca. Barcelona, who last won the league in 2023, could clinch the title as soon as Wednesday if Madrid fails to win. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 19,319.20. The NYSE Composite is increased by 5.02 points or 0.03%. Tokyo stock close price is 37,503.33. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 574.70 points or 1.56%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,342.00. The Shanghai index is decreased by 10.00 points or 0.30%. Hong Kong stock close price is 22,867.74. The Hang Seng index is increased by 91.82 points or 0.40%. Bombay stock close price is 79,454.47. The Sensex index is decreased by 880.34 points or 1.10%. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. President Trump and Netanyahu disagree over Iran and Gaza plans. President Trump ready to accept a $400 million jet gift from Qatar. President Trump says US and China made great progress in trade talks. Tour bus crash killed 1 and injured 32 in Los Angeles suburb. Mayor Adams discusses New York City's priorities with President Trump. American actress Amber Heard welcomes twins, celebrates motherhood on Mother's Day. Pope Leo XIV appeals for no more war in First Sunday address. Zelensky challenges Putin for in-person peace talks in Istanbul. India and Pakistan's fragile ceasefire broken by overnight clashes. Bangladesh bans Awami League activities under Anti-Terrorism Act. "21 killed, 35 injured in Sri Lanka bus crash." And Barcelona edged closer to La Liga title with 4-3 victory over Real Madrid. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our websites. Our website addresses are www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all smart TVs and Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.